Hello and welcome to the Critically Clueless. I am the Monk and we are in Empire of Sin, and today we are doing a weapon guide. Now before you say it, I know I've already done one. However, the last weapon guide I done was all about the weapons that I would use in combat, what I rank the best weapons in the game, you know, and why, and that's pretty much it. Now, back then in that video, I highly recommended the rifles. I do think that they are probably the best from the beginning stages of the game. They do the most damage and get absolutely crazy kills. However, since then, I've put a lot of time into submachine guns. I quite like submachine guns. I think that pretty much every weapon in the game has its uses if you get the stats up and if you get the traits up. Now, here's the kicker. Last video, I never spoke about the traits. I didn't tell you anything about the traits. And of course, I put a lot more hours into this game. Anyway, so for your viewing pleasure, I've gone ahead and I've got 100 kills in every single weapon class. So I've got every single trait on every single weapon. I'm going to go through them, talk about them, give you like my thoughts and on them. Now, with these traits, it doesn't matter what the weapon. If you get 100 kills on a weapon, whatever gangster that is using that weapon is going to become really proficient in using the weapon, and it's going to be really, really good. Now, that being said, having played as many hours into this game as I have, I've got to say I really enjoy melee. I really enjoy melee weapons, especially if you get that max leveled. Whew. It's crazy powerful. It's got some interesting buffs. Really like the rifle still think it's probably the overall best weapon in the game. I think it is crazy OP. It really, really is. Really like the submachine gun as well. With the perks that you get on that. Again, submachine gun, it outweighs the machine gun. But if you get the machine gun up again, that is also pretty deadly as well. So anyway, so we're going to get into it. We're going to go through all the different weapon types, all the traits you can get on them. Now, many of these traits that I'm going to talk about, or the gun categories, I should say better. I'm not going to go over the first one, or in a few cases, I'm not going to go over the first trait you get, because I'm sure you guys can get 10 kills yourself and find out what that is. But I am going to go over the 25, the 50, the 75, and the 100 kill trait that you get. And that is how you get the traits in this gun. In this game for each gun you're using. So you get a trait at 10, 25, 50, 75 and 100. You don't actually get any traits unlocked for explosives, and that is why it's not on this list. Okay, so let's get stuck into it. Okay, so the first one you get is maintain distance. Then after that, you get shove off. 25% chance to not back an opponent when using a submachine gun. After that, you get improved handling for 1 bullet plus fired when using the burst fire with the machine guns. After that, you have got machine gun expert. AP cost of firing the machine gun is reduced by 1. That is actually pretty massive. And then finally, you've got firing stance with plus 40 marksmanship when using the machine gun. Now, these aren't in any particular order. I've got to say, unfortunately, the machine gun for me is possibly the weakest on the list. I'm not a huge fan of the machine gun at all. Getting the 100 kills really isn't difficult, especially if you get sweep or something like that. I think it's actually really, really easy. But for me, it's probably the one that I use the least. But there it is. There's every single trait that you can earn from it if you get to 100 kills. Next up, we have melee. Fastly becoming my favourite weapon of choice. First up, we have Invigorating Kill. Recover 20 HP after killing an enemy with a melee attack. That is ridiculously good. Very, very good. After that, we have Mean Streak. 25% chance to apply a status effect while using the melee weapon. Runner Up or Run Up. When using a melee attack, deal plus 5 damage for every tile travelled to get to the target. That is huge. I don't know if you're watching my current playthrough right now. This is my current build. This is currently what I've got, and it's devastating. The last one we have is Counter-Strike. This person will automatically attack a character that comes within range during combat. Now, that's very similar to a perk that Frank Reagan has. Again, it's really, really handy, especially for a melee character. They're going to get stuck in, they're going to get surrounded by characters, and you're going to get some free hits and some extra good damage. Now, I'm going to say that this build, I have had some crazy damage output. I think the highest damage I've had is 132, which is massive and can almost one hit anyone in this game. Like I said, the melee, whew, OP. Next up, we have the sniper rifle. Sight alignment gives you a 10 plus to marksmanship when using the sniper rifles. You then have blindside for a 10% extra chance to inflict a stun effect, which isn't actually that great. Sniper nest get a 10 plus to marksman and crit chance when using sniper rifles if this person didn't move during the last round. Again, that's not great. And lastly, breach shot with a 50% chance to ignore target cover when using a sniper rifle. Now, the thing is, the sniper rifles are incredibly powerful anyway. I mean, there's a couple of unique sniper rifles in the game that can up the damage to the higher end of around 90, maybe a little bit more. Now, obviously, I've just said in the melee, I can do more damage and I can get that more consistent as well. Honestly, the perks, the buffs to do with a sniper rifle really aren't that good. But if you consider how powerful the weapon is in the first place, it still puts it up there. You could easily run a sniper rifle in every game that you play. I just don't really do that anymore because I like to be, on the field, moving around, doing things like that. So I recently tend to steer away from sniper rifles. Next up, we have the submachine gun. Now, I originally, on my first playthrough, didn't really like submachine guns. After playing through them quite extensively, I like them a lot. They have everything the machine gun does at only the 1 AP cost. So first up, we have peak performance. Can't read it, text cut off. Secondly, we have prey on the weak. 10% chance to buff the crit damage when flanking a target. Iron grip, 15 plus on a marksman when using a submachine gun. And then we have full of lead for a 50% chance to inflict bleed. Bleed is massive in this game. And then lastly, we have the hit and run. Killing the opponent with a submachine gun grants you a single free move. That is a very powerful loadout. I say loadout, but if you manage to get your 100 kills with the submachine gun, that right there is a very, very good gun. You're going to kill a lot of people very fast and be zipping all over the place while you're doing it. Next up, we have the rifle. First perk you get is the steadfast aim for the extra 10 on marksman. Next up, we have Huntsman for the 10% chance to inflict bleeding damage. 10% really isn't that massive, but bleed is massive. After that, we've got Puncture Hide. A 50% chance to inflict 1 armor damage when using the rifles. That's pretty good, to be fair. Wing Clip. 20% chance to inflict slow status effect when using them. And then in Cold Blood, a 50% chance to refund 1 AP after killing an enemy with a rifle. That is huge. Basically means you get another shot, almost guaranteeing yourself another kill. The rifles really aren't that much weaker than the sniper rifles. You can get some really, really powerful rifles in the game, like the American Wake, which, gives you extra chance to inflict poison and slow. There are other rifles as well in this game which I would recommend picking up and having a look at. The rifle in this game is pretty good. Is it still my absolute favourite? Well, maybe. Does it deal the most damage you can possibly deal? No. Honestly, I think that would be the melee. And lastly, we have the pistol. So, first trait is close and personal with a 10% chance to hit a crit using a handgun. Then you got a sure shot for reduced range penalty by plus 50% when using a handgun. Pick your shot, plus 50% chance to ignore the opponent's armor when using a handgun, which, by the way, is absolutely massive. There are some hugely overpowered pistols in this game. That right there is huge. The Executioner is the final trait that you will earn with an extra 50 on marksmanship and 50% chance to inflict your crit when using a handgun on an opponent with less than half health. It's devastating, guys, honestly. Now, I use it on Daniel Jackson. Obviously, that's what you see on your screen right now. I'm a huge fan of Daniel Jackson. Get him up to 100 kills and watch the bodies drop. And I very, very almost forgot about shotguns. Now, shotguns I didn't like. I thought they were the worst gun in the game, but honestly, if you actually level them up, they are bloody brilliant. I was using a unique shotgun called Little Hell. One of the bosses owns that. You can get that off him, and it's almost like having a sniper rifle. Honestly, I've had a playthrough with him. I think it was my Capone playthrough. This is where these stats are coming from. It was insanely good. So first off, you have soft boiled. Then you have a push off for a 10% chance to knock your opponent back. Close and personal, 10% chance to get that crit. Freeloader. Now this is awesome, guys. Automatically reload after getting a kill with a shotgun. You're going to get a kill with a shotgun. The freeloading is really helpful. It means it saves you an AP. Personally, absolutely love it. Born Bear, 50% chance to strip opponent of all of their armor. Again, if you are raiding safe houses, hitting bosses, underbosses, whoever, shotguns are pretty awesome. Now, like I said, I didn't like shotguns until I played an entire playthrough with one, leveled it all the way up, and I've got to say, I like it. I like it a lot. But I do honestly think that with every weapon in the game, once you actually get it leveled, they can be devastating in their own way if they're used correctly. If I was to rank every weapon in the game right now, the way it is, given the amount of hours I put into this game again, I really like the rifle. I think it's a great all-round weapon. I really like the submachine gun as well. I think once you get that leveled up, that can do some serious damage. The shotgun, again, if you get Little Hell, I mean, it's in the game, you can get it. If you get Little Hell, devastating weapon. But the weapon that I have got by far the most damage in a single hit is from a melee. And here's the thing, I got that kind of damage from a single melee attack, and I inflicted a status effect, meaning the next time they took a turn anyway, if they were still alive by some miracle, there was an extra 20 damage in bleed damage, Seriously, I'm in love with melee at the moment. I may do an all melee playthrough. We'll have a little look-see at that next time I go to do a playthrough. But yeah, at the moment, I think melee for me is #1, and I think sniper rifle has moved down a little bit down the list. But that's it, guys. That is the list. That is every single stat on every single weapon in the game. Obviously, I haven't done explosives. They don't currently get stats. If they ever do, I'll do an updated video. But I've been a monk. We've been a Critically Clueless. Guys, please, if you have enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you learned something, subscribe to the channel. You can always follow us on Facebook, and of course there is a link in the description to buy us a coffee as well. But I will see you in the next video. I'm still currently doing the Frank Reagan playthrough, so I'm going to continue with that. Hope you're all enjoying it, and I'll catch you later. If you have any comments or ideas for videos, or want to ask any questions about the game, pop it down below in the comment area, and I'll do my best to answer them as truthfully and honestly and as quickly as I possibly can. But guys, I've been a monk, and I'll catch you later.